There are assignments, and then there are assignments like this one. This is the new Bullitt Mustang, which is going to be rolling into showrooms. My producer, Megan Reeder, starting it up for us. The roar is what it's all about. 50 years ago, the Bullitt Mustang roared onto the scene thanks to the movie Bullitt. And since then, Ford has brought it back from time to time. This is the third generation of it. And for Ford, the importance here is when you look at that muscle car category, if you will. Yes, there are still people out there who want these types of cars. And when you compare, the Bullitt versus the Challenger versus the Camaro or the Corvette, and that whole category there, well, the Mustang still holds up well. In fact, as they've exported Mustangs around the world, this has been one of those iconic areas that Ford has been building on, a strength for them. We had a chance to drive the Bullitt Mustang here in the streets of San Francisco yesterday, and it lives up to the reputation. 475 horsepower behind this vehicle. Top speed, 163 miles per hour. It starts at just under $47,000. For Ford, they need a little bit of shine right now. This is a company that is going through a tough period. Think about this. They're ending production of most cars. The Mustang is the one example that they're keeping around. China and Europe, we detailed this last week during earnings, they're struggling in those two areas, and they're in the midst of saying, look, we need a more extensive restructuring than we initially indicated. And they also lowered their earnings guidance for 2018. This is a limited edition model, guys, so it's not as though this is going to move the needle a lot in terms of sales, but it does bring up the question, do halo cars still bring people into a brand? Ford believes there are still plenty of people out there who want to hear the roar. As my producer, Megan Reeder, can attest, guys, we had a chance to drive this yesterday. She's been told she has a little bit too much of a lead foot, so she cannot drive anymore here in San Francisco in the Bullitt Mustang.
I've ridden with Megan. I know that is absolutely the case. It's a very, very pretty car, Phil. It looks just beautiful. It would seem to me that as we move forward in the world, Ford's not making cars, as you mentioned, more and more people deciding they're going to do ride sharing, that these cars become more important as a product because it really stands out as they reduce the product line elsewhere.
Right, and the automakers all believe that there is still going to be a core audience that wants to drive, that wants to shift the gears manually, that they do not believe that it's just autonomous drive vehicles that will lead us in the future. And look, if you were into driving, if you were of a certain age where you still enjoy that, this is the type of car that you want, where you can really test it out, especially on some of the windy roads here outside of San Francisco.
Yeah, and in this case, Phil, if you're of a certain age, you have to be old enough to have an emotional attachment maybe to a 50-year-old movie. But I wanted to ask you, and by the way, I have that attachment to this particular movie. But do they actually have to do something, given where automotive technology is right now, to make the car roar like that? In other words, you probably are not using a lot of noise muffling.
You can adjust it.
Yeah.
Here, give us some roar here. So that's the loudest right now, but you can adjust it down if you want. By the way, we're here at this resort. I'm sure we've woken up more than a few people with the revving of the Bullitt Mustang. But you can adjust it down.
Okay.
Cool.
Phil LeBeau, what an assignment. He's right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sometimes you get him and